on the chaplain with loving care, and we have Gene and we have Charlie here that will be performing the ceremony. And we thank you all for being here. This is a very special moment, and truly we thank not only is the family, not only is Mr. Spade, but the family is involved in this. So thank you for being here, and we'll go ahead and start our ceremony now.
Great. Well, as was just announced, I am Charlie Stenner. I was in the United States Air Force. I was in college when the 1968 to 72, when you know what the first thing that happened was? The draft came back. I said, no, it can't happen to me. Number 18. So, I knew I was headed off that way, but I was in my last year of college. So I talked to all of the recruiters, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the Air Force. When I graduated, 10 days later, I got a draft notice, you know? They meant it. So I said, I'll do 4 and get out. I got in the Air Force, and they said, son, if you want to fly airplanes, you got to do 7. I'll do 7 and get out. Well, they gave me a really good second assignment, so I said, well, I'll go to 12. You know, I did that all the way to 40. You know, yeah, little bits and pieces here and there, and I flew F-4s, A-10s, and F-16s. Those names sound familiar to you?
Not really, I was in the B-52.
B-52s are the best airplanes and the big airplanes in the world, except for the new ones. But B-52s are still flying. Can you believe that? And they're still being modified, and they're still in the air. So the Air Force is moving along, catching up with all the different things that are going on with the cybersecurity and everything that you can do when you start looking at how do you find out what the enemy's doing. And that goes back to the days that you were in. It doesn't matter whether you were in that day or this day, a lot happens the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Amen. What was your job?
Aircraft repair.
Aircraft repair. See, I love these guys. That's called maintenance. A piece of maintenance, okay? These guys are wonderful folks, and as a pilot, I love them to death, okay? Because they were the ones that took care of that airplane, fixed it when it went wrong, and came back and pumped the gas, and we took off. So I very much thank you for your service in the days in the past. And we were probably crossed over just a little bit there.
Maybe.
In your time. I was in from 1972 to 2012.
Nobody not with them.
Okay. We were close. Yeah, you got the hard part. You guys had fixed it all before I got in. Thank you. Okay. And we kept doing the airplanes. You know, we kept moving the airplanes, and these guys kept figuring out how to take good care of them. I love it. You know, you could always trust the maintainers. They would not sign an airplane off because their name was on it. There's no way they're signing off on an airplane that had their name on it that is going to have to go fly as somebody in it. So I knew they were doing the best job they could possibly do. Okay? It was wonderful, a wonderful world in there. We worked together. We partied together. You probably didn't have any parties whatsoever. No. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that later, sir. There were some good parties, and it was a mixed party. It was the folks that flew them and the folks that fixed them. Okay? And then there were the folks that took care of the root grounds and all the buildings, and you know, had all the things that you needed. Chow halls. What did you think about the chow halls? It was okay. I agree. It was not something special, but it was nourishing, hot, and good. Okay? If you wanted it hot and good, you can get cold food too. So it was a good day to be in the United States Air Force as far as I'm concerned. And we thank you tremendously for your service. You were a maintainer, the backbone of how we fly airplanes. And you didn't just maintain airplanes, you probably maintained some of the ground crew stuff too. Yep. So he was a big part of the things that went on, not only in that age, but today. We're still doing it the same way, but we have a whole lot of different equipment. And the equipment keeps coming. The new equipment that we need more and more keep on coming. So we're going to honor you today for your service very much. We may appreciate it. Talk about it.
Yes, sir. I'm Gene Nickel. I served in the Ohio National Guard from 1962 to 68, and I never served abroad, but I spent basic in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and advanced training in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, in artillery. And I was fortunate enough to live on many years ago. His wife and my grandfather worked together in an insurance business. I think it was Sherwood Insurance, is that right? So I've been around this area for a long time, and proud to serve my country, and we certainly thank you for your service.
Isn't that something? Same job, same, you know, just keeps on going. That's what makes this Air Force and the rest of the services as well. You know, good, very, very good. Now, they got one more story. We used to work in the air, that was my job, and we'd practice with the Navy every now and then. They had airplanes too. So we'd go up and we'd practice together, because they did it a little different than we did, and we all learned a little bit from it. And you know what? You're doing it in the air, and one of you guys is attacking and one of the guys is getting shot at, right? So you know when these guys are, when I'm this guy, and he's somebody else in a different, you know what I call this guy? I call him a target, okay? Because I'm the one behind him. Now when we shift, you know, and you know what he calls me? Because the Navy now gets to shoot some too. Guess what he calls me? A target. So guess what? You know, that's the way to do it. You go practice together, you each look at what you have to do. Now the Airman's Creed, you come back and you've got to get your airplane taken care of, you got to get all the rest of the things fixed and taken care of. Doesn't matter if you're working in maintenance, doesn't matter if you're working in airborne kinds of things, but this is an Airman's Creed. I am an American Airman. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American Airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American Airman, guardian of freedom and justice, my nation's sword and shield, its sentry and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American Airman. Wingman, leader, warrior, I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail. That's the creed that this man worked under. I need to shake your hand, sir, and say thank you so much for your service. Okay? Salute.
Next item on the agenda here, we have a special pin that I'd like to present you with. You want me to pin it on, or you want me to just hand it to you?